ago, the big night on Wednesday night, and I was watching it with Sean up at Saratoga, and it really looked fun. Looking at it, it felt like there would be a fun place to spend the night. It really looked like a fun crowd, and they do a good job getting people out there. And I always like to see them do well. I felt so bad that year. They tried to lower takeout, and it rained every day.
Yeah.
And then everybody said it was a bad move by them or something. And it's like
Can't make anybody happy, it seems.
you can, and that's the thing about racing. Racing is the one place where you can make nobody happy all of the time.
All of the time.
Anyhow,
we're happy.
Beyond that, that's just true. We are reasonably happy. Well,
I'm happy.
No, you are. I agree. Somebody said something silly about that to me the other day. Somebody who sees your neighbor, you always look angry. I said, I'm not angry at all. I don't really understand that. As you know me, it's the anger's an act. Anyhow, what else do we have? We got the Stars and Stripes Challenge. You got till 5 o'clock today to sign up.
Hurry up.
$3,000. That's tomorrow's card. Tomorrow's card, by the way, in all seriousness, it came up very strong.
Sensational.
Yeah, it really did come up strong.
Sensational.
It took a long time to get through that card. It was one of those cards. It was like those old stats projects.
I have two races
left.
I have 2 races left to finish, actually.
Yeah, it's a bear. That card is a bear. So that should be fun. A lot of opportunities on that card. And finally, last but not least, 1 to 4:50 on Fox FS2. We'll finish up the rest of the card on YouTube, the last race.
Okay.
I am on early with Acacia. All right. Race number 1. Here is my biggest interest in race 1.
What do you got, pal?
Noted morning line maker Kevin Bubser, agent extraordinaire for Kendrick Carmouche, and apparently great morning line maker.
Don't forget about Abner Adorno down at Philly Park.
Oh, has he got him too?
Otherwise known as Parks. He has him as well, yeah.
Or Keystone. You could call it Keystone if you want.
Liberty Bell?
No.
Liberty Bell was different, yes.
No, Liberty Bell's the first track I went to.
I was at Keystone.
I never went to it was called Keystone. I went to it was Philly Park by the time I was at Lehigh.
Okay.
I've been to Liberty Bell. Liberty Bell's the first track I ever went to with my dad when I was 10. They changed the law so you could go if you were over 10. My dad used to go. It was thoroughbreds then. And
I never knew that.
I believe that Liberty Bell is the first race that Nick Zito ever won as a trainer, I think, was at Liberty Bell.
That rings a bell.
I'm almost sure that's true. By the
that
time
rings a bell.
I went there in college, it was harness track full time.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of doctors there, actually. Dr. Eddie Davis was right. You don't know that joke?
No.
Oh, I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I told the story, right, when I went there with my college roommate and blew my brains out, had nothing. Completely broke. Never happens at the racetrack, right? Walking back to the car, it's pouring rain. It's like March. It's pouring rain. He says to me, I got bad news. I go, I think we just had the bad news. He says, I locked the keys in the car.
Oh, man.
Fortunately, there were people in the parking lot back then. I said, Prouds back then. That guy, with a truck came and unlocked the door for us. And I said to him, I got to tell you, I'm sorry. I blew out at the track. I can't give you any money for a tip. He said, I've heard that before. Right. Anyhow, so Bubs went after Aragon's morning line. He didn't have. He was actually nice about it. But saying that, and as David said, it feels like you have a vested interest in this comment, that he thought Power Attack, that 10 to 1 was too big a morning line. So I'm rooting for him to be at least 9 to 1 in here. Really 11 to 1 to make Bubs happy. But now with you picking him, how
I'll
can
move
it
him at least 3 points, right?
Yeah. So he'll be 8 by the time we get to the third race?
This is a lot of guesswork here, no? Did you feel the same way about this race?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much guesswork. I prefer a horse with a little experience. This horse at least broke alertly and showed some speed for the first half mile last time, so I'm just hoping the by War Dancer transfers over to the turf. Dan was 2 for 5, no turf there, so just it's a guess, and I figured I'd guess. I'm going to take on a few more of your axioms. If I'm going to guess, I'm going to guess with a price. And I think this horse will be double digits.
She has a half to 2 turf winners. The problem is they were bad horses. But it is a War Dancer. I get it. Horse's experience. I think we both put the 1 New York Panther second. This horse feels like a mediocre horse to take at a short price. Not that the horse can't win, but they're going to bet it off a 4th place finish in a good field on the dirt. But I don't know what that means. Todd wanted to run the horse in the turf. It's a first fault Madame, who was a minor winner on the turf, and a Freud. It just feels like this horse is going to be overbet. And obviously Todd pointed the horse to the turf, a Freud, but doesn't mean because he pointed the horse to the turf, the horse is necessarily that good. And there's so many unknowns in here that I think to settle on this horse in the, 6 to 5,
especially
8 to 5
at that
range.
price. Yeah, absolutely.
So I won't be surprised, and you have him second as well. So I don't think it. I'll take a look at Twirling Charlie's 2-year-old sales work. I actually for what it's worth. Thought it was pretty good.
Speaking of Abner Adorno, how about that? I
There
didn't
you
even
go.
realize it.
I guess Kevin was okay with the 20-1 morning line on this one.
Cold water and people already, Kev?
He was, Kevin, if you were smart, you would have gone after him for the horse that I picked on top, Twirling Charlie. The dam was 2 for 3 on the turf with the second, the 79 buyer. The second dam was actually a very strong turf runner. I don't know. I like the workout, shipping the horse up to run in the turf. I mean, it's a New York bred, so I guess you have to. But I just thought I'd take a shot, like you're saying, with a price. The 9, would you say it's Makar?
Yeah, I would go Makar.
I got a stat for Brad Cox.
Okay.
Not very good. And by the way, he's 0 for 6 at Naira. 2-year-old first-time stars in turf sprint. 5 to 6.5.
Okay.
I don't know. This one has a little bit of pedigree.
Yeah, a tiny bit. Dan was 1 for 3, 1 for 4 overall, 1 for 3 on the turf. Kind of a quiet work tab, right?
Yeah, have to Russia, who did win here the other day on turf for Chad Brown. I think in her 4th career start. The truth is, there's pedigree sprinkled all around this
But there's
race.
nothing that's really whetting your appetite,
No,
right?
I agree. See what happens. Like these races. Fun races, maybe an opportunity for something interesting to happen. Race number 2 is primarily a 2-horse race. That doesn't mean anybody else can win, but I copped the favorite, and you went to the second choice. With Bay Storm, we'll take a look at Bay Storm. I think I have the race 2 back. She finished second. I don't like that she's piling up the second-place finishes. Her 1 win, she rode a gold rail here at Belmont. 2 big win. I guess for me, the deciding factor was she's just loose.
She's gone.
I mean, she's so much faster than these horses early.
I picked bye-bye with my man Rosario aboard because I just wanted, like you said, this filly that we're watching here is piling up the seconds now. And I just want the horse who I think is going to be in closest proximity to. I would imagine Joel's going to be a little bit more aggressive.
It's got to be.
Today and just be sitting second to her. And I hope he picks her up off the turn.
Yeah, I don't have any argument with her. My problem is I bet her last time at 4-1. And she was a little unlucky, as we'll see when we show the stretch run, because she was blocked in there a little bit. But I would also argue she had enough time to get by. She
did.
I remember the first time feeling like really frustrated, as we often do. And then you watch it again and you think, I'm a little, if she got out earlier, she might have won. But she gets out in here. I mean, doesn't she have time to get by?
Yeah, listen, I don't really have much of a defense.
Yeah,
for last time. Maybe
she's the other horse in the race.
But she needed the race. Yeah. I mean, always late's going to take some money in here, but, man, this race looks like it's got to be controlled on the front end. If there was a little bit more pace in here, she probably needs a little bit more ground, too.
I also think that Bye-Bye's better than Always Late.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
probably
you've got
is.
the best 2 horses and the 2 speeds. It's kind of a little hard. By the way, I hadn't seen this. David Aragona put this up on Twitter. I don't know if anybody saw this. In the Saginaw, Daddy Knows is coming disqualified off a DQ at Finger Lakes. Are you sending in the videos for Sunday?
I don't even know who I'm doing the show with Sunday.
So send the videos in. Send in the Finger Lakes. Watch it on Formulator. Has anybody else seen this? You know how people on Twitter declare every single disqualification the worst one of all time? And, of course, Alamuse will always be the worst one of all time.
This is
the wrong horse that wins by 5 lengths. The most incredible thing was, though, that Run for Boston, one of your pets,
My boy.
got beaten that much by Daddy Knows. And I said to Aragona, I don't know which is more incredible. That they took this horse down. The horse did nothing. You got to see it to believe it. Or that Run for Boston finished that far away from Daddy Knows, right? But
Please don't make fun of my friend.
you gotta see this.
I will. You have a look on your face like I haven't seen in a while.
It's you don't even have to have bet the race without it turning your stomach. Because when people horse players watch DQs, your mental reaction is, that could have been me. I mean,
Sure is.
it's insane. The horse, you got to see it. There's not even a foul. I'm not even saying that there was like
Can't wait to watch
there wasn't
this.
even a phantom foul. There literally wasn't a foul. There was
Wasn't
nothing.
a foul.
You have to see it.
Okay.
Race number 3. So I copped out in race number 3 with Storm Shooter, just thinking he'd be the speed, and in this field I'll take him.
Did you kind of feel like he wasn't going to run? I kind of felt like he wasn't going to run.
You're going to pull a Nostradamus on him now? I guess now. Yeah. Oh,
I
because
put him- yeah.
Linda scratches every horse that can't lose on paper?
I just didn't. This was a big drop. I didn't think you could see. I didn't think you'd see this horse. I didn't think you'd see this horse for the simple fact that she could run this horse in a week and lose this horse for probably twice the price up at Saratoga.
Maybe not anymore. Maybe she kind of blew that
Well, maybe.
opportunity, but that's a good point. The problem with Got the Gold, who I was going to scratch into, but I didn't want to put on top, he was so lucky to win last time.
He was.
Anthony. Mark Hennig, by the way, I've been on a bad run of luck. Nobody's had a more unlucky meet than Mark Hennig, who's hasn't won a race, but it's not just that. He's run about 6 horses that probably should have won, and every one of them has been unlucky
He's got
to
beat
lose.
some doozies.
He's lost in every way you could lose with every horse that he ran that should have won. And Kingstown battled with the whole field. This horse sat back and did no running and picked him up to beat him in nose at the end. So my problem with him is he's got that little bit of the loser, the 3 for 11, and his last win was so fortunate. But it's the horse to beat, I guess.
He's the horse to beat now, right?
I guess.
I mean,
No, he is.
Breaking Stone's the horse to beat. I don't know.
Breaking Stones is never the horse to beat, Anthony. I think after some of the races he lost,
We just said Got the Gold was the horse to beat. I mean, he should never be the horse to beat either.
It's pretty embarrassing.
I wanted to, I should have just got Goofy in here. I almost just picked
Why'd you pick Ghost Mom?
I almost did.
He's awful
I'm
enough.
ashamed of myself.
I don't know.
I'm ashamed of myself.
I don't know. I'm not, I've got Centavo. I understand this barn rarely wins races. What, you're going to tell me he can't win off a
Of
second
course he
Jake
can
Rocks?
win.
Jake
Why can't he
Rocks?
win? Yeah.
Last race 2 backs a fast enough fig to win. He's running against better horses, drops down. I don't know.
Oh, if he runs his race 2 back, he's going to win.
Right. And because of the connections, he's not going to be favored.
Right. No, he
So-
won't be favored. No, I mean, Got the Gold or Breaking Stones has to be the
Breaking
favorite.
Stones. He lost races. I believe that less distance is better, but I even remember when Pat Reynolds was trying to figure out the distance at Roddy Valenti, and he just would lose at a mile at 7 furlongs and 6 furlongs. That loss to Jumpster was... No, it was the Scorpion Dynasty loss on February 19th. That was an historic
Well, Scorpion Dynasty got
loss.
loose on him, right?
That was some loss. The Grand Couturier. Did Grand Couturier win the Sword Dancer twice?
I believe he did for Bobby Robato.
I think he did, yeah. It's a nice horse. I think he was in the Man of War that Curlin ran in when Red Rocks won. I think he was closing
I
at the
believe
end.
you're right. So what do you win, at 07, 08, or 08, 09?
Sword Dancer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, Curlin ran in the race.
Well, Curlin was, but I bet that was the Man of War.
Right, that was 08.
That was
8.
08, right, his 4-year-old year. Yeah. He didn't make it to the Arc after that. Remember Jess Jackson was thinking right in the
did.
Arc? That's when we moved the race.
I remember.
We moved that. And PJ was saying, PJ was race secretary at the time, had to move it. Just couldn't support the two turf stakes in the fall, but worked out perfectly. There were how many Breeders' Cup winners? 3 Breeders' Cup winners in that race, right? Who was the third? He finished third. Breeders' Cup Turf winner. And I'll tell you what else. He finished second in the Breeders' Cup Turf 2 Red Rocks when Red Rocks won in 2006.
Better talk now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I forgot he was still around.
Thank God he finished second to him in that 2006 Breeders' Cup and didn't win. All right, so we're running this one, and what are we going to start with? I guess we start with Channel Maker.
Yeah, I mean,
His Elkhorn was good. He's the horse to beat, isn't he?
the race runs through. We're on to the 4th, guys. There we go.
I don't blame
Yeah,
him for
here he
falling
is
asleep
in
the truck.
the.
The Elkhorn.
Here he is in the
Prestigious
Elkhorn, sitting just off the pace and getting the job done. I think, a lot of people are blaming him for Tribuvin's Gate to Wire winning in Manhattan. He's not fast enough to
He
stay up.
couldn't have kept.
No, he can't keep up with him anymore.
Thank you. So many people said that to me about it, and I'm like, you don't understand. He can't run with Tribune.
And I liked him in the I'm not get the Man of War right now.
Yeah.
In the Manhattan, cutting back a little bit. I feel like he just survived that day in the Elkhorn because he's just better than those horses.
I agree.
And that might be the case today. But you know what? I'll say this about him too. In his older age, he's a little bit better when there's some give in the ground.
Think so?
And we do not have give in the ground.
No, we don't.
So
We've had
no rain. And we're only supposed to get about 1/10 of an inch of rain.
Not
if
even.
that.
Not
Yeah.
even. It was supposed to be worse today or tomorrow. Like
Yeah,
today was originally
just
day.
some rain
It was
overnight,
like
maybe.
maybe dark sky has less than 1/10 of an inch
Yeah.
between today and tomorrow.
Yeah, like 0.4 both days,
Yeah.
0.04 both days. So he's loose on the lead in here. Yeah. I mean, in all
Is he?
likelihood. Well,
I'm gonna tell you something.
British royalty, right?
I'll tell you right now. If highest honor were mine, I'd go
Oh.
to the front.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
he's fat. I mean, don't forget, we'll get to him in a second. We'll show you the start. We'll get to it. Why don't we see the start and we'll show
Yeah.
the race? He wasn't behind because he has no speed. He was behind because he stumbled. And took himself out of the race.
Yep.
You know, if I were mine, I'd be sending him to the front in here.
I like him. He'll be much closer. His 3 turf race, and he overcame
up
this
now.
start and ran a giant third in this Louisville. I mean, a
Well,
complete
it's a
square. You'll
weird-
see.
it's a
He's
weird
easy to
race.
find him because he's the gray.
He's a weird race because right here, he's getting outrun. And
Yep.
right now, you think, I mean, even watching the replay,
He's got
I'm
one
like,
horse beat.
I got the right horse. This horse finished third in here. He's going to leave the screen.
Yeah.
Very shortly leaving the screen. And he'll end up making a real run at the end. My problem was it wasn't a very good field. This is a much stronger field. That's why I didn't put him on top.
It is, but I think when you combine the fact that you hope he breaks a little bit more alertly, and he should be sitting a better trip and not have to make up as much ground as he did last time. I think he has enough upside, and I think you're going to get a price on connections you don't ordinarily get a price on.
Wait a second. I don't think there's any prices left.
You don't think he's 4-1?
Aragona's got him 5. All right, David, you have him a bigger price than Soldier Rising.
You flip-flopped them.
Did you really? No, he's it's Chad Brown, a 5-horse
Yeah,
turf stake.
but hold on a minute. The other 2 horses are going to be considerable favorites over the other 2.
Okay,
2
what
and
price
3.
do you think he's going to be?
I think it'll be 4-1.
Okay, I tell you what. You got $9 even.
Wow.
We're at 102 lunches. We haven't been at lunch in a while.
I know.
You want to win 1 or 2 lunches?
2.
2 lunches.
You're giving me nine
You
even
win
and higher?
9 even, so I'm
This
890
guy's in a generous mood
or
today.
below.
You win $8.90 or below. I win
And
$9
I'm
or
fighting
higher.
here, David. No, I don't think it's possible that Chad Brown and Flavien Prat are going to be anywhere close to the 4th choice in this race.
I mean, it's Jose Ortiz and Christophe Clement, and the other 2 horses are graded stakes winners. This horse won a great.
Who would bet on Christophe Clement? The guy's
I
awful.
guess.
You realize what kind of meat he's had and nobody's even talking about it? Seriously. Literally, nobody even talks about it. The guy's
25%.
The guy's winning at over 25%. He's got almost 30 wins. He may have 30 by now because I printed these PPs
31.
a long time
He
ago.
has 31.
Yeah. And he's losing the meat by 14.
Well, the other guy, Chad Brown's just, I mean.
An incredible meat. But they've also
both
had a
of
great
them
meet.
are.
That horse is I mean, the only thing I'll say about Soldier Rising is maybe he's capable of finishing 2nd or 3rd to anybody. I don't want any part
These
of
are
that.
the horses that embarrass. We were talking about the embarrassment before. These are the horses that embarrass us. We came up here and just slapped around. I tried to beat him with Mathial last time. He'll wind up beating 3 graded stakes winners now.
Well, my favorite thing about Soldier Rising is that he lost by a length to State of Rest. He won his non-winners of 2 weeks before. State of Rest finished completing 3 major Group 1s, winning the Cox Plate, the Prix Gannet, and the Prince of Wales at Royal Ascot.
3 different countries. This was just one of
And
2
this
other
was
against Mathial.
5 months later, 5 yeah. Like,
Mathial
5
and
starts,
McLovin.
5 starts later, 10 months later.
He's got
you want an
McLovin
hour
on the
two.
card. Oh,
Yeah.
you know why he beat Mathial, right? I needed Mathial for like 2,200.
Yeah, that's why he did. Otherwise, Mathial would have won.
Mathial would have just jig-jogged.
Yeah, McLovin.
I'm getting my harness parlance ready. A jig-jog.
Jiggy jog. Yeah,
Getting
jiggy
it
jog is a
ready
real
for
hardest
tomorrow
term. Admission office. So I picked. You know what about admission office? I don't know how the heck he won this race. I know he's run okay going shorter. He's a better horse going long.
This was impossible for him. Where he is now, it's absolutely impossible. And he's dead last. He's got a half a dozen, 7 lengths to make up at this point, right? They said it says 5
Get
in the
Smokin',
paper.
who's a good horse, is losing.
Yeah.
So Get Smokin' was like 7-2 or 3-1 in this race, and I spent 10 minutes of the show ranting that he should have been favored. They couldn't beat him. He was a cinch. And I realized as they were going on the turn, and he was going to win, that I forgot to bet on him. So I'm
Wow.
watching here, and I'm like, I think I was on with Greg, and I said, this horse actually got beat. Yeah, I just totally spaced on betting him. So I figured if he won that race, if Brian Lynch is here today,
Okay.
I'll be on the air, but I'd like somebody to ask him if he thinks the Belmont Derby is a great spot for Classic Causeway tomorrow. But we'll cover that tomorrow. Race number 5 kicks off the late pick 5, closes the early pick
guy just
4.
doesn't
Pick
stop.
5. It's a very unorthodox prep for the Allen Jerkins.
Did you miss me for my 2 days off?
Not really, to be honest. Did you miss me? Because if you miss me, there's something wrong with you. Race number 5. I think Cloud Forest was a horse that ran back in the 70s, but forgetting about that.
Okay.
We land on the same horse here, but let's start with Gasoline. Speaking of throwing gasoline on a fire.
Saw enough last time.
What's that?
I had enough last time.
He lost to a pretty good horse.
I know he did, but I had enough.
I think this Juddmonte horse, Arturius, who beat him, one of Chad Brown's 45 winners in the first 41 days of the meet. I think this horse is a serious racehorse. I mean, my only problem,
Arturius. Yeah.
Arturius. My only problem with this horse is he's not finishing the deal for Todd Pletcher.
That's the
But
problem.
he hasn't been a super short price, save his debut, which I know he lost to another Todd Pletcher. He lost to a good horse, though, Anthony.
He's not finishing, Andy.
He ran a 90 buyer.
I'd like to see him go to Saratoga and come back to the 7. I'm telling Todd Pletcher what to do with his
Didn't the
horses
Dam
now.
win the Frisette for unbelievably? You know the
For
trade of the Dam?
Christoph.
Yeah. Guy won
I
a
think
dirt.
Manny rode her.
The guy won a dirt.
Beat Rudy.
That sounds right.
Beat Rudy's filly that ran well in the winter then. Rudy's filly may have won the...
I thought Totalist was Clemont's only Grade 1 winner on the dirt.
You serious?
No, but, well, I don't know. Who are his other dirt Grade 1 winners? There you go.
Dinever never won a Grade 1, right?
He was a Grade 1 winner in my heart. You know? I loved him.
Wow.
I love Dinever, I believe. Is it right,
Dinever.
correct?
Tono was 4-time Grade 1 winner.
Cigar Mile, two Jockey Club Gold Cups, the Belmont.
Yes. Mile to a mile and a half. Cigar Mile is my favorite race of all time.
We're going to have to do a little research into the
I have
Grade
my
1.
tonalist colors on today. I just realized that.
I have a tonalist hat in my apartment.
Do you
I
really?
was doing some cleaning and I saw it yesterday.
I need one of those. Christoph, Miguel.
I'm
Geisha,
not way against
Valerie.
Gasoline, but I do get it. The horse has had 3 starts, but his last was pretty good. We'll show.
You think the price is going to go up on gasoline today?
I thought that the oil was going down. I don't drive, so I don't have to worry about that.
I do.
I mean, I drive.
So
I
I
don't
do.
have a car. Yeah, you don't drive that far. We'll take a look at Sidekick's first race, and you can talk about him.
Half to Code of Honor, who making up some ground. I thought this horse was kind of spinning his wheels a little bit in the mud, Andy. Sloppy, the muddy seal track, I should say, looked like certainly needed a little bit more ground. When I watched the replay, I was confused as to whether it was the track, the distance, or both.
I think he was just green.
I think it was.
just
I think
his
it was a
first-
little
I thought
combination.
It was his first start.
It was a
good
combination of everything.
Learning experience.
You know
when
that
he first time out.
I was, and I wanted the kickback too, right? It's different kickback. This muddy sealed, so I just think he looks like a horse with routine improvement with the race under his belt, a little more ground and getting on dry land. I think he's going to be tough today, and I think you're going to actually squeeze out 3.5 or 4 to 1 on him. David has him 7 to 2.
He'll probably pay more than be a bigger price than the horse in the last race. If I could eliminate one thing that people talk about, it's kickback. I don't. I think it's way overused.
I don't ordinarily. I don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, I don't. I'm not.
But
You
on
rarely
those
bring
muddy,
it up.
on those muddy tracks and with the first-time starters, I just think it's another. Factor that can play a role. Especially like you said, he looked a little green. He didn't look green the entire time, and I just wonder if when he got into the crowd, if the kickback started affecting him a little bit.
I'll be honest with you. What's wrong with making it? You don't have making it anywhere here.
Yeah,
It's
we-
lost to the $17 million Aussie Pride.
The infamous 5th pick. Yeah, I mean, how many can you use?
Those ran pretty well, going 2 turns first time out, cuts back to a 1-turn mile. And we haven't had a chance really. We haven't talked about it, but of course our best wishes to George Weaver and his family with his wife. Hopefully she's recovering, and I know
Cindy,
that's something that is on a lot of people's minds in general. It's
For sure.
a dangerous game. We don't like to see anything happen
Wonderful
to any
family.
of our participants. What about Cloud Forest? Got a big number. I'm not going to say he got downgraded because Nabokov was basically eased,
Right.
but I don't think that. I think that fig came back too high. I don't.
You
I-
said that.
I-
You said that originally.
yeah, I'm skeptical about. That's why I didn't like him.
I wonder if the wet track souped that fig up a little bit. Right?
No, it shouldn't. I wonder about first races, Anthony. First race figures. I think Steve Christ talked to me about many years ago, and I've talked it. First races sometimes live on an island. I don't know why exactly.
Interesting.
But sometimes first races will come up aberrationally fast or slow, and they live on an island. So maybe it's that. We'll see. Maybe he'll win. I mean, I don't think you can. I mean, we've got him 4th. I don't think you can say he can't
no,
win.
you can't say that.
So I thought that you would leave Secret Cargo out because you would agree with my argument to you the other day about the turf horse, which, you know, when I made the point I made was they ran a first time start on the turf the other day, and I just said I found it hard to believe that Chad Brown was going to unveil any very strong first time stars for Klarovich this late in the meet, with Saratoga coming up. That's all. That's why I wouldn't include that horse in there. And also, this is a very tough field.
It is. I'm assuming that he brought him for the one turn to get the mile.
Well, you can get the 1.5 turns.
Yeah.
I've seen the Wilson shoot. I have a little video footage on my
you?
phone. Yeah.
All right.
I didn't want to. I was going to put it on Twitter, but judging by the pathetic responses to somebody putting up an picture of the unfinished second floor above the.
Please, with this bar already. Oh my God, get over it.
Absolutely nothing has changed.
Enough.
An addition was made. An addition was made. So
You know what gets me aggravated about it?
everything gets me angry.
I'm working. You people are out there drinking and having fun. That's great. Going to complain about the bar you're going to go drink at? Well, we're working.
But the point was nothing changed. You just built
know,
an
I'm
addition
kidding.
to it. It'd be
It's ridiculous.
It's like if you put an addition on your house and somebody says, that just ruins everything. We can't use the living room anymore. This is like anyway, let's take a break. We'll be back, though. A lot more fun to happen.
Who you betting on? How about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions. And offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.
We're back, Anthony and Andy.
Back. We are back. We'll fire it up
I
today.
enjoyed this week, running through Monday, and then, I actually managed to accomplish things on my days off. I'm almost completely packed. I cleaned my apartment completely. Not completely. Just my desk is still a war zone. Really feel a sense of
I
accomplishment.
did Howard's podcast last night,
I saw you did.
and I was in a Hold'em tournament before I went on.
Oh, you weren't on during it?
I won 2 Hold'em tournaments
Really?
with my partner Raheem while I was
I'm
sitting
guessing
outside.
Raheem was the better player.
No, Raheem proved last night that sometimes it is the seat and not the meat.
Well, I mean, there are good seats.
No, we had a good
A friend of
time.
mine
It's a little bit of like a little journey through Queens and Brooklyn and Long Island for me because we go away for the 2 months and I only come back a couple of days to
I
see
don't
Mom
come back.
and Nicole and do my
Once I
thing.
cross the Saratoga border,
You're done. Yeah, you stay. I know you do. Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
so
anywho,
a friend of mine did well on the first day of the World Series. They have all those other first days. I don't know when the second day start. When the second next
Joe
day start.
Migliore had a fantastic
Did have
run.
a very good run.
5 years ago now, I think.
Very
it would
good
be.
run. Oh, no, longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Feels like longer.
Text me if you're watching, Joe. If
Feels-
you're watching,
feels like
text
longer.
me. I think it was 5 years
So
ago.
what are we doing here? We're going to show Stuck on Kitten, my top choice, and this is the. Actually, this is Aqueduct running second to Mr. Karras. I know she
Big
didn't run
A.
well last time.
I called this race.
Wow. I watched this race outside Aqueduct. It actually wasn't cold that day.
Mr. Karras fires at first edge. That's a Game of Thrones, Mr. Karras.
I feel like I watched this race with like Chad or something. Could he still have been there?
Yeah. So it was Cigar Mile weekend. Cigar Mile was Saturday. This was
I
Thursday.
know. I know. I thought this horse was a complete cinch.
You know, Brokers made in that Sunday. Bourbonic.
Wow, really. I thought this horse laid over this field by a city block.
Okay.
I know that what Wesley dropped him was off a year layoff, but Jose D'Angelo, who's run 2 horses, has a second up here, wins at a high percentage. He ran the horse back in synthetic. The horse ran off like a wildebeest. Who's this horse? To me, looks like she towers over this field.
Where's he been? You remember those races? Those 2 December races were in 20, and those 2 last races were in
Not
21.
running for a tag.
Not
running for a
no,
tag.
he's not. But don't
She.
you? Isn't that part of the reason you? And I understand if there was something amiss, you'd want to cut bait. But I think part of the reason you claim this horse is to get eligible for the starters. A guy like Jose D'Angelo who has horses in Florida, in Jersey, can ship up here. You want to get these horses that have those starter conditions.
You're
I'm
right.
with you.
If you're against the
He can
horse,
win.
if
No,
you're
no,
against
she
the
can
horse,
win.
no, but if you're against the horse, you're
Yeah.
against it because of the layoff. That's
Yeah.
fine. I don't have that big issue, but I hear you on that. You've taken The new and improved You Should Be Dancing.
I mean, you said it best. I mean, she's in great form, isn't she?
She is, but she's also gotten sensational rides and trips from both Jose Gomez and Jose Ortiz. In her last two
I don't
starts.
disagree, but
I agree. She's an improved horse. I don't disagree, but I still worry about any horse that looks improved that's getting good trips.
that's fine.
That bothers
But
me.
this might be the one. You have Missing Link. You have horses in here that are going to put some pace on. You would imagine.
Around here, I never wore.
Hey, she's closing into no pace. Imagine if she gets a little.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
there
but
should be a
those
square enough
races
price.
came apart, though. She's coming out of races that fell apart a bit.
Yeah.
It's not like those races. We'll see. I'm not. No, listen. I've got her third. I'm not going to give a speech
We have
against
the,
her.
I
I'm
mean,
not-
look, we see
yeah.
the race kind of the same. We have the same kind of fuzzy with Unlock. Look, late pick 4, late pick 5. I'm using all 4 of those horses on the screen. It's not a race where I'm going to die on any hill. But I just thought that the filly that I put on top,
She can win.
she's actually a shorter price than this might be
5
the
to
one.
1's a fair price.
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
What's wrong with that one? What's
I
wrong
love
with her?
5 to 1 on her.
I don't like this might be the one because she got an unbelievable ride and trip last time. I prefer others, but I'm going to use Unlock, and
Absolutely.
not just because I'll be seeing Rob Masiello, who's been hiding somewhere for the last year in Saratoga, and I want him to pay for dinner, so I'm going to be nice to him for the first time ever. But I mean, this is the dam who had her whole career, and she finally ran the turf in what turned to be her last career start and ran her best race ever, ran an 82 buyer. I mean, this was why do
I feel like we've seen her replay on this show? Does she have another foal that you showed the replay once?
Yes,
Right?
that's correct. That is correct. That's a good call. Yeah, and it's funny because if they had a put over of the meet, this horse would get the put over of the meet last time. I mean,
Tommy was
They
very-
knew. Well, my
I
favorite.
was holding the umbrella for Maggie this
My
day,
favorite
and
part when
Tommy was
Maggie
very
said, "Do
happy.
you think this horse is going to run well?" And he said, "Yeah, I did." And I was up here either with Greg or Acacia, and I said, "He better say that because they knew this horse was going to win."
She went to the
I knew I'd
lead.
been had when I saw the price on this horse.
Yeah. She was never 10 to 1. She took every dollar, and the race was over.
Went
at the
7 to
half
6
mile.
the last flash. She didn't even drift up.
Half mile pole, the race was over. Yep.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something about this horse. You had this horse like third or something. You had this horse somewhere in the money in its debut. It might have
did.
been an attempt to suck up for a free dinner from Rob, but didn't you have this horse? I feel like
I
we
did.
talked about this horse in its debut at Saratoga.
Yep.
Yeah.
Benji Hernandez, I
You-
did.
You got the call though for last time, right?
I did not get the call for last time.
See, that's why
I was about to say it was the last.
That's why I hate Rob.
Just about to say it was
Why
the last race. and
Rob's
it
a
was.
bad guy.
It was the 10th race.
Yeah, it
on
was
the
it was an off the turf race and Esatika won. And I feel like you said
We don't have it off the turf, but I thought it was off the turf too. The form doesn't have it off the turf.
it's not off the turf. That's correct. That's why you probably picked it because it occurred to me it was off the turf. Well, it couldn't be 6 furlongs, be off the turf, but.
Oh, you're right. You know what? I did say I was like the Fondeski was a turf man. Why they run this horse on dirt? For
Nah, you whatever. I actually think that you might have said that Rob says the horse could run a little bit. Like a little bit.
Well, thanks for telling me that now, Andy.
I'd like to find that talking
I
horse.
could have taken
somewhere.
$16 last time, but no, I got drowned in the paddock with Maggie instead.
Well,
Thank you.
if Rob was
Appreciate
a
it.
really good guy, he would have called you. Race number 7. So, I want to talk about the Unique Unions Win for Gold race to start out the conversation in here. Because I understand that as Belmont Day progressed in the bigger races, there is no argument that the rail was a big advantage. But no one's going to convince me the first 3 races on this card, at least, I don't know if the Acorn was because it was a
Well,
silly
forget
race,
We can't count.
that there wasn't something going on the inside. For Quick Flash to hold off a field.
I mean, how does
is-
he win from here?
Anthony, how does he
How's
win
he
from
win,
anybody
period?
that
Yeah.
gives the gate?
Yep.
And win for Gold was a big favorite in there, and he was 4 wide. Now, Unique Unions obviously ran the better race because he was 3 wide and he finished close. But still, if you think the rail was an advantage, those 2 horses have to be moved up. Though I worry a little bit about Win for Gold. He does seem to be falling apart at the end of races. Because even if you say there was a bias, should he have lost by 5 lengths to Unique Union or 4 lengths to him?
Yeah, I just wonder. He was wide, just being wide the whole way. If he just got tired and Kendricks just brought him home. I don't know. I see what you're saying though. There's no, but maybe listen. Maybe I don't know. I can't argue your point.
You've given up on
I
him.
can't argue your point. Okay. I have. Yeah, somewhat.
I'm not. Listen, this is kind of a make or break race for him a little bit.
I agree.
So
I got a little goofy in here with agility. I didn't love the trip he got in the mile race. It was his only race with Lasix. I felt like he had a little bit of a weird trip that day, a little bit of a strange ride. And they made the rider change to Jose last time, and he was just outrunning the Mike Lee behind Rodney and Best Idea. I mean, they're just better horses, right? Now he gets his Lasix back. He cuts back to a distance he's probably going to be more appreciative of. He broke his maiden at this distance. He ran a good second in the Regal Bark behind Barisi at this distance. And I just feel like he's the kind of horse where you have Unique Unions, you have Fenway along the inside coming off the break.
Oh, Fenway's got to go.
Fenway's got to go.
Color Me Potsy have to go?
You're supposed to have some speed in here, and I would
Goldquist
imagine agility
go.
can sit a trip that gets him first crack at the speed. He's going to be a good
You don't
price.
think he's going to be way back in here?
I don't think he's going to be way back.
Oh,
I think
do.
he'll be 3-4 lengths off the
I
lead.
disagree. I think he'll be close to last.
Okay.
I think that my horse will probably be last, but I think he'll be near the back of the pack.
I think he can get a good trip in here, and I think he's going to be a square price. I'm not going to lie. I'm chasing a little bit here.
Okay.
This horse owes me a few
I like
dollars.
the other horse for Jorge Abreu. Who
I like
actually,
both of them. Yeah.
When they both ran the Mike Lee, TT was going through a terrible run.
Yep.
And
that's important, and I think that's important too. When these horses ran, when agility ran as well, the barn was just not going well, and he actually ran well enough in the Damon Runyon to say he was bucking the trend of the barn.
Yeah, he ran very well in that April race, finishing second to Hot Rod Rumble. Really improved. He made a big run. Arguably a little against the track that day. I'll say a couple of things. Not only was the trainer going through a bad run, but we know from his race 2 back that unless he just ran one race off the layoff and he can't run anymore, which is always a possibility. But it's more than that. He was too close to the pace last time.
He was too close to the pace.
And I'm not blaming Dylan.
He was in front of agility, and I thought you figured
He's
they
in front
would
of a number of horses he'd be in front. You think he'd be in front of.
Yeah.
And in this race, I think Flavian's going to relax a little bit more with him. So I want to take him. David's got him the 3-1 favorite. I'm not sure that's going to be the case here. I'm skeptical. I thought they could be all over the place in this race.
I thought Unique Unions would be the favorite.
Yeah,
honestly.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, David's got him second choice, so he didn't really strongly disagree with you. I thought it was a super competitive race. Dave was making a case to me about Whittingham Park last night. And listen, maybe Whittingham Park, maybe the horse has improved since, winning. Horse won 10 months ago, so the horse could run a much better figure. I hated the field this horse
What I found
beat.
interesting about him, Andy? No Lasix.
Yeah,
It's weird, right?
yeah. You make a great
a
point.
little
I don't know what it
strange.
means, but I don't even think Goldquist, who's undefeated in the dirt, is totally impossible. This is an interesting race.
You love that horse. Undefeated on the dirt. He's 1 for 1.
Well, he's never lost in the
You
dirt.
love that. You've made a case for that horse every time he's run.
Well, I loved Cotton last time. I used this horse for second or third.
He was the horse that I was doing. We were on America's.
No, I
League of
wasn't here when he
Races.
ran 2 back. I wasn't here.
The day he broke his maiden, he touted himself on that racetrack like I've never seen a horse tout himself.
Touted himself in the betting as well.
Yep.
Race number 8. We'll go back in the time machine to Colonial Downs last summer.
Wow.
I think Invincible
John
Gal.
Affield says this is the hottest racetrack on earth. By the way.
Oh, I've heard it's the weather.
Scorching.
The weather, yeah. It's pretty rough. I've heard that too. Well, that's why they'll race in the evenings a lot. I remember I used to come back from work a lot and watch those cards, the 5 o'clock cards, and you remember who the paddock host was?
No.
Really? You know the person extremely well.
Our own Margaret.
Yeah, Maggie.
I didn't remember that.
After I had talked to her about working here, I saw her on that show.
Good old Mags.
And I still hired her.
Khaleesi.
I still hired her after what she was
My
working
racing
with.
Khaleesi.
She was working with.
I know who you're going to.
Stan Salton.
Stan
Stan
Salton. Yep.
Chad Brown, 6-month to 12-month trainer switch turf, 33% $2 ROI. His numbers, he's got a positive ROI.
Scary,
Belmont
right?
Meet. His
Include
horses-
the takeout. It's an actual ROI.
It's unbelievable. So they're not being.
She
overbet.
almost looks too simple, right?
I agree with that. I agree with that. She looks too easy.
Kept looking through the race. Another instance where, and it's a little different than earlier when I was talking about Ghostmon, right? Ghostmon, that's a condition claiming race, whatever it is.
This is a different race.
This
than
is a
that
different race.
Good
So
call.
you don't
Good
want
call
to
there,
you don't
Ann.
want to use the
Really
same.
on top of that one.
You don't want to use the same in the rule of thumb. She just
Quite an
she,
analogy.
the problem is she looks too easy. Only one allowance race on her card to date. And now she finds a spot where, making the trainer change. Now, listen, she's not going from a bum. Grand Motion obviously knows how to ever change a racehorse, but she's going to one of the best in the world. And, I would imagine that she's finding it as easy as she's going to find it in her first start in 7-8 months.
We'll see. I have the same horse you do second.
I know.
Regal Realm. I thought that horse was a
I
little bit
watched this
interesting.
replay. This horse I haven't used this in a while. This was an eye test kind of horse.
No,
Andy.
this horse
ran a real race.
This was a very legitimate race.
Yes.
This horse comes out of, and I won't be surprised if this horse is
Me
okay.
either.
Now, the
hope we
pace
get
is
that price,
if
by the
Madame
way.
Rouge goes, she's got a problem. A lot of her chances hinge on what Madame Rouge
Yeah.
does in this race. I was remiss leaving the entry out, and I'll show you Nazuma, who finished second, because Nazuma really had a good trip. I will say, and
Nazuma's not in the
I
entry.
rarely criticize Trevor. This horse on Romanosa got a little lost in there. You feel like he was trying to save ground. I just feel like, and I don't know that it's really his fault. He was trying to save ground, but she's sort of angled out the 3 path now. She got a run, but she never got the ability to make a clean run, and I think she could run better. The problem I left them out is I hate entries, because frankly, I think both halves of the entry could win this race. Actually, the other half is the better one.
Angelinka?
Yeah, she comes out of a better race. And don't forget, another Brad Cox horse wired that field.
Yep.
So, and that was also a weird race because it was raining. And they listed it firm, but it was really good.
Maybe Blythe came back and won that big giant field next time out.
She was very impressive. How was she not favored? That was
Chad
the
Brown.
single most overbet Chad Brown horse.
Chad Brown.
Blythe
Yep.
favors it. We're joking. It was the 2-horse race.
I went too deep in there and covered.
I'm also
I moved the
Miss
chains.
Tapparado interests me a little bit.
She ran sneaky good last time.
Well, she was attending the pace in those races in June. Now, she was not in the rail. If she'd been on the rail, I would have liked her much more, but I'm going to throw her in. But I'm mostly 9s and 7s.
Me
in
too.
here. See what happens. Race
I'm going
number
9-7.
9. We don't really have to end, by the way, at 12. We don't have to end until 12:30. We don't, because there's no show.
You want to
till
do
1.
You want to do a song and dance number? What do you
No,
want
I'm just saying when you see 42 in the clock, don't think that we don't
No, I
have.
know.
We only have
We're
2
good.
minutes. We'll need them tomorrow.
calling Omaha. Yeah, we have the hour tomorrow, right? 11:30 to 12:30 tomorrow.
I'm just going to keep talking. We're going to be on till ever. Whenever Johnny L gets, he'll do the changes when we tell him to do the changes. Okay, we're in
Wow.
charge. We're in boss. It's like
We're
when
in
you have the
charge?
mic. It's like when you give the mic to the guy and he won't give
It's
it
like
back.
it's like when the guy walks over to Bane and Dark Knight Rises says, "Do you feel in charge?"
Who plays him again? Somebody good.
What happened?
Bane. The guy who plays Bane is great.
Tom Hardy.
Tom
Ah,
Hardy,
amazing. Yeah. My favorite
So
Batman movie.
Before
My favorite
we're
superhero
not
movie.
we're not displaying any stats. Why do you like Chapel Road? And don't say because you have a stat.
Things you'll never hear out of my mouth for 1,600, Alex.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just like the cutback. I just thought the cutback was gonna fit this. He just dead stopped, and he
I don't
doesn't
know
have
if
the
he's any
layoff
good.
excuse.
I don't know if this was any good. I put him second.
Maybe
I'm
not. But
We'll show Christoph's cutback numbers, and I was kidding because I know Anthony knows he has good cutback numbers. In general, his cutbacks are good, but the ones to 6 furlongs are even better. How about this? In maiden claiming races, cutting back from a route to 6 furlongs, he's 4 for 6, 480 ROI.
wow.
Yeah, I'm.
It just looked like it was too far for her last time.
Who do you
for him
want
last
here?
time. I like the fact that he's giving the kid a shot too. Got Jose Gomez on his horse. Just the second horse that Jose's ridden for him. I like to see that though.
He's such a giving man, that Christophe Clement.
He's
He's
like the Jelly of the Month Club. He's the
like
gift that keeps
Santa
on
Claus.
giving.
He's just like
Santa Clement.
I'll tell you who I don't like. I don't like the 10.
Okay.
I just don't like that horse.
Yeah,
I don't want the exposed horses in here. I'm surprised.
you talked to Bubzer about New York Anthem. Is that why you picked him?
No, I'm just. I haven't.
Whoa.
It's a bug fest up
I
here
have
in many ways.
acacia. I have a little acacia Clement.
You don't have the 11 anywhere?
hairspray in my hair. I wonder if this bee's going after
I
that.
don't even know what's going on in that thing on top of your head.
Somebody took my comb. My comb's gone. My hand comb. I can't find it. Is
Looking
it
at
here?
this, it's a disaster. He's got going
No,
on.
it's not here. I don't know what happened to it.
I mean, Anthony, the idea is to not make your actual hair look like a bad rug.
Here we go.
Well, I mean, as a
I
guy with
didn't
no
put
hair,
pro-
I have hair
I
envy.
didn't put product in there this morning because I thought my curry comb was
Let me
here.
ask you a question.
And it's
In all
not.
seriousness, if you at home didn't know, and it is Anthony's real hair, and not that I have a problem with people that have rugs because do whatever the heck you want.
My
But
man's offering me a brush. Not right now. Thank you. I'm done for the day.
Am I wrong? If you didn't know, you would think this was a rug, right?
You could say yes. It looks. It doesn't look very good.
It looks like a rug that you almost the glue
Acacia
came
tried to
off
help.
of or something, and it's like moving.
Acacia tried to help. Listen, I made a mistake. I didn't put the Pinot
Maurice wigs?
gel. Maurice wigs don't fall off, even in hurricane force.
So
winds.
I'm surprised you don't have a New York Anthem
I
anywhere.
didn't talk to Bubs like
have
you
to
did.
a term.
Apparently.
Yeah. When you find out I'm talking to Bubs for tips and I'm listening to him,
You're talking about Joel
institutionalize
Embiid and
me.
the rest of those
the
guys.
Horse, well, first of all, this horse is a turf pedigree. He's a half to a turf winner or an 89 buyer. This is
He's
very
a
good
war
second
dancer.
family turf. And isn't this horse gone on the front end?
Yeah, supposed
So
to be on front end.
I've got her on top.
Supposed to be on the
him
front
on
end.
top. Him on top. All right, we're done.
Just went from talking about not having to end to just wrapping it up. If
And
we're
the
talking
four
about
is up a
winners.
point. It's drifting up there, Bubs. Bubs is so rooting for this horse to be like 5
Bubs
to 1.
there. My man Bubs is a good guy.
I haven't seen him in.
No, no. He's big. He's Big Willie now. Bought himself a nice house. Got a swimming pool. Nobody gets invited, but house,
I'm
swimming
not
pool. Knew
getting
I had a
that
couple
guy's
of days off. You would say to yourself, "Hey, Stabile, come
Is he
down.
going to come to
Big A, what are you
Saratoga?
doing?"
You coming to Saratoga,
I
Bubs?
was like, I don't know. Probably look
He
crash
happens
on
to
my
be.
couch.
He
if
happens to
tries.
be a very good guy.
He's a great guy.
Yes, he is. All right, we're done. You are not done if you are not a member of Naira Bets. You still have business to attend to. Use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match for $200 of your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. Support racing in New York. We've got the 5 times points here Saturday, Sunday. Make sure to opt in for that. We've got 10 points on Horseshoe and Canterbury, both of which will be on America's Day at the Races, morning, noon, and night. A full day, going out with a blast. And finally, we have the contest. You still have a few hours to sign up for that till 5 o'clock today. $3,000 buy-in. And last but not least, 1 to 450 on FS2. You can catch the last race on YouTube. We'll also be on some other networks, but that's for FS2. We're done. John and I will be up shortly, though, with a reprise of Scratch and Changes. Have a wonderful day. Beautiful bell.